Isn't it fascinating how some people, they begin to notice things shift, even before they fully understand what's changing? Because imagine for a moment, you're standing on the deck of a ship, your ship, and the sea is both calm and stormy. The wind's uncertain, and yet you're smiling. Why? Because you remember, you're not here to control the wind. You're here to adjust the sails. And that's where it all begins. Because when someone like you begins to adjust the sails of perception, that's when the ocean starts to obey. You see, every idea, every belief is like a seed. Some were planted long ago by voices that weren't even your own. But now you're the gardener, and gardeners don't argue with the weeds. They just plant something new, stronger, deeper rooted. Something like this. You're always growing. You're enough. Reality bends to focus. Your state creates your faith. When those truths take root, well, what happens to doubt? When belief walks into the room with a stronger frame. You begin by noticing how curiosity, when paired with compassion, becomes a doorway that few can resist walking through. Now questions, strategic, open-ended, unexpected, open minds like keys turn locks. You notice how mirroring posture, tone and breath doesn't just build rapport, it awakens trust. You start to feel what happens when you remember a moment of joy, and that joy reawakens you, because emotion, when summoned consciously, becomes a steering wheel, not just to wave your ride. Think of it like this. A man once stood at the edge of a canyon shouting, "Why is no one listening?" until he realized, what you shout into the canyon is what echoes back. So he whispered love, and the world whispered it back. Reality is a mirror, and beliefs, they're the glass we polish. So maybe, just maybe, you're beginning to notice how you can shift your state by shifting your breath. Or redirect a conversation by asking, what else could this mean? Because every challenge is a puzzle disguised as a punchline. And the clever ones, they laugh first. And somewhere in this moment, you may already feel it beginning. That playful, mysterious, bold energy returning. The part of you that knows how to be unpredictable on purpose. The part that says, I don't need permission to be powerful. The part that remembers, people mirror what you project. So when you radiate curiosity, others lean in. When you relax in certainty, they trust you deeper. And as you begin to move through your days like a cat walking through a room full of rocking chairs, calm, confident, aware, you start to embody the idea that your presence is a gift, your energy is influence, your questions are commands. You play with pattern interrupts, like asking someone, have you always believed that? Or did someone install that early on? Or is that your belief talking? Or a story that is ready to evolve? Each question becomes a doorway, each metaphor a map, each reframe a revolution. Because just like a jazz musician doesn't wait for silence to improvise, you don't wait for certainty to act. And so you act boldly, wildly, with a smile that says, I know where this is going, even when I don't know where this is going. Because that's what leaders do. They hold the strongest frame. They smile in uncertainty. They redirect like a ship in the storm. And the ones who follow, they don't follow the words, they follow the vibration. So here's a thought, or a feeling, or maybe both at once. What happens when someone fully installs this new system of beliefs, so deeply, so naturally? Do they forget what it was ever like to doubt their own power? Because you can, can't you? As this begins to feel more natural, your unconscious mind reorganizes, reprioritizes, realigns. You might already be imagining how every interaction becomes a performance, or every question becomes an invitation, or every breath becomes a choice. So now I ask you just one thing. If this new operating system is already uploading, what becomes impossible to forget? Once you've remembered who you really are,